Guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you love MMA as much as I do. A lot of people are talking about Michael Venom Page, aka MVP. He's a really exciting fighter. Shout out to him. 2 years ago, 2 years ago, I gave a prediction on his rematch between him and Douglas Lima. And keep in mind, Lima knocked him out the first time. I said Venom would beat him in a rematch by decision, and he ended up getting a pretty good split decision victory over him, avenging that only knockout loss. And speaking of knockouts, this guy has 13 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's only had 2 losses, the knockout to Lima, and he had another one earlier last year. There's no guarantee that he would go to the UFC because while he was doing Bellator, while he won his last fight under 30 seconds by knockout, not long before that, he lost Mike Perry in bare knuckle fighting. And I imagine bare knuckle, I've heard that they pay better or pretty good money for the like they do UFC, but better, even if you're not a champion. So, and he was pretty successful in his fight with Mike Perry. Mike Perry, I think he's undefeated in bare knuckle, right? So, you see how he's doing. So, again, he may go to the UFC, but you also got to think about the money, like with Francis Ngannou going on, making about 8-10 million just to box Tyson Fury. And I think that's how much the whole UFC contract was worth for him to fight Jones and have other fights too. And the fact is, Francis Ngannou, for example, he can do almost whatever he wants. He can box and he can still do MMA on the side. So while it's very possible Michael Venom Page could go to the UFC and he might be successful, he might be a champion, there's no guarantee. He couldn't win the title in Bellator. I think at this point he's more concerned with keeping his options open like he's done the whole time with Bellator. He might just do bare knuckle more often, and he might try to do some boxing with Jake Paul or Nate Diaz or all these other big name guys. He might do kickboxing and go into K1 or do something special there. So again, there's no guarantee that he goes to the UFC because what's the UFC got? Bilal Muhammad, Colby Covington, Gilbert Burns. Guys that are high level grapplers, wrestlers, and then you have Hamzat Chimaev there also. Those are fights that I wouldn't say not winnable, but very, as far as stylistically, those aren't guaranteed wins for guys like Michael Venom Page, who's primarily known for elite striking. So for that reason, I would say unless he wants to move up to light heavyweight, and fight the strikers up there, which I think he could. I mean, that's possible. He could go over there and do that. The light heavyweight division could always use another exciting fighter. You got Alex Pereira, you got Jan Blachowicz, who could be exciting at times and finish people, put people away. You've got Jamal Hill, who's out, who just vacated the belt. So that could possibly open up a spot for MVP to go over there and fight too at light heavyweight. So very possible, but I wouldn't say for certain he's going to the UFC. I mean, given how things are going nowadays in combat sports, like with Ngannou, I mean, I don't know.